Oh, it's so wonderful to see you again. Come in and unwind. Welcome back to the Celestial Cafe, a podcast for the magical mind.
So come, take a seat. Would you like something sweet? A star drop potion for the soul? Maybe an enchanted eclair as a treat?
I just baked a batch of warm cookies with a dash of moonlight. I wonder what will happen if you take a little bite.
Here is your bewitching beverage. Let each sip melt your worries away. It's time to open your mind. I wonder what magic awaits us today.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to a new episode of the Celestial Cafe podcast. My gosh, how's everybody doing today? Hello, welcome in.
Hi.
Good today.
You're doing good? Wow,
Weeks,
that's a bold statement.
I've been productive today. And I haven't been very much lately. It's been, let's just say that the release of the new WoW expansion has not helped with my ability to put out my shop items on time. So, totally not correlated at all.
I know you're working on a crystal shop launch, right?
Yes. So actually, I have the link for you all here. But so the shop is officially up. But it's on vacation mode right now. So, but you can sign up to get a launch or an email for the launch. So, it should be open on Monday is what I'm doing. I've got to do the last of my setups. I've got almost all of my items listed. I just have to make a couple more to make sure I have enough stock. I'm putting together little goodie bags. I'm thinking of doing like the first 15 sales will be getting freebies, like a $20 value bag of freebies kind of a thing. So, I'm kind of doing a little more than I had initially planned, but hoping that everything will work out.
So if y'all are listening on podcasting platforms, we release our episodes on Monday. So her shop should be up today for you on podcasting platforms. And the link is just etsy.com/shop/feralwoodwares. And if you want to, you can check out the website at celestialcafe.org and check out the show notes for today's episode. And the link will be there for you as well. We're so excited for you, Panthera. This is so cool.
I'm so excited to share with you all. This is something that's definitely been a labor of love. I'm really excited to bring ethically sourced crystals, homemade witchy wares, and tools for your craft. So I'm very, very excited for this. Oh, and nervous.
And I can say from seeing some of Panthera specimens, they're beautiful. Like so vibrant crystals.
I'm already grubby-handed, snatching a few up.
Perfect shine that is within. It's so good.
And I can say that her prosperity oil definitely works. So
That's good.
So I'm sure all the rest of her oils are going to be just as amazing. I got a huge sale in my shop yesterday, which means I finally am forced to actually go and make more candles that I've been saying I'm going to for 2 months.
I was like, Fuchsia restock, let's go.
Because I definitely don't have as many candles as they ordered. That's my weekend plans. So thanks Panthera, your prosperity oil making me work.
Oh, wow.
Gotta get those rewards. Gotta do the mundane and the magical work, right?
Well, welcome everybody. This is the Celestial Cafe podcast. This is a podcast that meets up currently twice a month, but sometime around the new year, in the next couple of weeks, actually, because we're nearing the end of this year already, we're going to be upping that.
No, don't say that.
Goodbye 2022. Thank God, finally. This year's been so hard.
This year was supposed to be my year, and it just really
I've been saying that every year of my life, and so far it's never been true. So
I never say that. Like, I never say that, but like this year, like at the beginning of the year, I was like, I really feel like this year is my year, and it's been very much not. It's been the opposite of my year.
You know, I was over here like 222. It's a beautiful number. It's going to be a great year. So much abundance is going to happen. And then everything seemed to fall apart around me, including my bones. So,
like, why did I peak when I was 10?
That's what I'm like. I'm literally like, why was my best year in 6th grade? Like, what?
Why was I the most relevant and most vibrant when I was like a dumb little
But because I hadn't had any, the world had not jaded me in any way, shape, or form. I was a pure, innocent creature. Mm-hmm. No puberty had strucketh me and ruined my hormones or anything. I was just vibing, doing my little cartwheels in the grass and carrying a bunch of caterpillars on my hands. Like, it was just a beautiful time. I've been
hopefully not at the same time.
No, not at the same time. That would be gross.
Sad.
That'd be sad and gross.
Murderer.
Thank you so much to Britt Lurks in the chat for the biddies. We really appreciate the support on our podcast. Thank you all so much for hanging out today. And if y'all are listening on podcasting platforms, we do record this live on twitch.tv/HeyShadyLady on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. And the podcasts and stuff have been going up at 9 a.m. on Mondays. I'm liking our new schedule shift. I feel like it's working out really nicely. Mm-hmm. I'm able to spend a little more time editing everything, so I think it's coming through a little bit better. Celestial Cafe podcast, we like to chat about the full moon. Today is a full moon episode. We'll be talking about the full moon in Gemini, which is happening next week. And our other episodes of the month are variety topics. Last episode was all about shadow work, which we had so much fun. That was one of my, I say this every episode, but I think that's my new favorite episode.
It's okay. It's good.
It's okay if we say that every episode we're just getting better.
Exactly. I love that we're like constantly, evolving and improving and yes, exactly.
And we keep talking about stuff we love. So and we're having a great conversation.
Yeah, we're hoping in the new year that we're going to be able to bring in some guests on the episode or on the podcast for you and things like that. We did launch our Patreon. It's a soft launch, so you can get the link for that on our website at celestialcafe.org if you'd like to support the show. It means a lot to us. We've got our eyes on getting an editor to try to help fine tune the process. That's our first goal. So it's just patreon.com/celestialcafetv. And we've been rolling out our social media posts. So I hope y'all been enjoying what we've got going up on Instagram and Twitter. Now we're going to try to get a handle on short form videos for Reels and YouTube Shorts and TikToks and stuff like that. So we're having a good time. I love Celestial Cafe. I think that we got a good little balance here, and I hope that y'all are enjoying it too. And if y'all have a suggestion for our next episode, our next variety episode, you can let us know anywhere on social media, or you could drop it in our Discord community if you'd like to join us there. I don't know what we're gonna do for our next variety topic.
I have an idea. Oh, I want to see if anyone else has suggestions from the community first.
Okay,
yeah. So it'll be on the 15th of December.
Well, I want to know
our next one. So
tell me.
It was just because we all have very, very busy lives, and we are not alone in that. How do you get back into your practice if you have been too busy for it, or just haven't been feeling it, or especially because it'll be everyone's busy with the holidays and everything. How do you get back into it?
And I think subtle witchcraft,
that could be a good topic, because I was actually just thinking about that the other day. How I haven't been very magical at all for the last couple of weeks. I've been so stuck in mundane. I just feel
I've been gaming.
Yeah, I've been gaming really hard. But I've also been trying to get...
Gaming doesn't do much for that third eye, does it?
Oh no, it calcifies the fuck out of my pineal glands.
Right now.
I do lots of magic in ESO.
My almonds are not activated. My almonds have been unactivated.
Yeah, my almonds are not organic. They're synthetic almonds right now. Not good. Okay. So we're going to go ahead, I guess, and jump into the topic of today's podcast. But before we do, here at the Celestial Cafe, we love our delicious beverages and our tasty treats. So let us know in chat what y'all are sipping on today, if you brought any snacks with you. I have my very typical, usual, nice, freshly, crisply coldened can of Dr. Pepper.
Crisply coldened.
And then I have my big ice water, which I'm very dehydrated, so I want to try to focus on this water. But for snackies, I'm so excited because I got this cool little... Oh, do y'all like that on the podcast? I got a little ASMR moment. I got a little glass jar and it's full of dark chocolate chips and dark chocolate M&Ms. I was just gonna put my dark chocolate chips in there, but I was like, this is gonna be sitting on my desk. I want it to be cute and colorful, so I was like, I gotta get a colorful candy to go in here. So, $8 bag of M&Ms. God, when you buy M&Ms in the bulk bags, they're expensive. I'm just saying.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but I couldn't even fit the whole bag in there, so it's actually probably gonna last me a while. So.
Oh my God, you're like the cool grandma.
I love
candy.
back when I had my life together and I had a house with my ex. I always had a chocolate jar and a cookie jar in our kitchen. God, that's
so valid.
I love having like a little jar of sweets and being like, would anybody like some? Hello. I love it.
I love it. Hostess shady.
Y'all haven't loser grandmas.
Y'all have not seen me in my party hostess era.
I love butterscotch.
I'm always like, I've got a cold beverage. Would you like one?
A Capricorn.
I can get you some ice in that.
Hostessing. It's one of my favorite things.
I bet you don't like
come into my home and let me feed you.
I do. Why would anyone eat fruitcake?
I love fruitcake.
What are you talking about?
Oh.
Do people actually make fruitcake in real life? I thought that was just a Sims thing.
I thought that was a meme.
I've literally never had fruitcake before.
I love fruitcake. Maybe it's a Polish thing. I don't know. But like we used to have fruitcake at Christmas and it's good. Okay.
I'll trust you and take it.
We do.
I love that Duxley is just like, you are such a Capricorn about my food taste. I don't even know what that means, but it's true.
Is that because Capricorn's a goat, so they just eat anything? Is that what that means?
I would like to interrupt this joyous giggling for a beautiful announcement that we do officially have our very first patron. Lara Star, thank you so much for being our very first patron. That's very cool of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That means that if nobody else joins, you'll get to choose our next episode.
That's true. Yeah,
by yourself.
The main perk we have right now, while this is still a soft launch, is patrons get to vote and help us choose the variety topics. So there's that. But yeah, so I've got my little candy and my Dr. Pepper. What do you got going on over there, Panthera?
I made my homemade hot chocolate, which I'm very excited for. So I have this recipe actually as part of my Yule video, which Fuchsia will be talking about later. But if you guys want to get the recipe, it is going to be posted in chat. And
oh my God,
probably
yummy.
in the description as well.
Delicious.
If you're listening. But yes, it's like a little bit of vanilla, some magically charged hot chocolate. It's so good. I love it so much. I made a full 20 ounces to fit in my 20-ounce Deadpool mug here that I am drinking from.
Yeah.
And I might have already drank half of it. It's so good though. And then I've got my water, of course, some hydration on the side, mostly for when I run out of hot chocolate. But yeah, that's what I'm sipping on today.
Priorities.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Chocolate first, water second.
So I have, and don't get it twisted, I'm still in my matcha latte era, okay? So don't think that that's over. But today I decided to switch it up. Today I got some water. That's not the switching up part. Tricked you. I got something even more exciting. I got the carton right here. I got some Almond Breeze almond milk eggnog. Delicious. I'm so excited.
I've never had eggnog or even like the vegan version of it. I've never had it.
You should try it.
I can't get past the name of it. Like
what if you just renamed it in your brain?
Well, that's just called nog.
Egg juice.
Does that make it worse?
I don't know. It just doesn't sound good.
I've literally never had eggnog before. No.
I'd rather have.
You know, actually, when I worked as a barista a couple years ago, we had a couple of eggnog specials. There was an eggnog chai we did that was really popular. I might have tried a sip of that. I feel like I probably tried it back then.
That sounds so good.
I think that there's something about it because it's eggs, right? I think that just doesn't sit right.
It has egg whites in it, doesn't it? It's just whites.
I think I'm just afraid, so I'm like,
it still doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah, it sounds like you're living in a state of fear.
That's so true. I'm vibrating on a very low frequency.
Yeah, I need to send you a tiger's eye.
I would much rather have fruitcake than eggnog.
All right, slow down.
Look, if I come over to Dixley's house and she sits me down and it's a cup of eggnog and a fruit cake, I'm out.
Wow.
More from me.
See, this is where, like, I'm too awkward. I would just sit there and eat it no matter what. Like, I could be allergic to it, and I would still eat it.
I'm joking. I'm not. I will pick. I'll pick at it conflict. And I'll be like, oh, this is tasty. I don't know if it's really for me though, but you did a great job cooking it. The cake is really moist. Great job. Like, you know.
I like well, for the record, since we have two non-nog drinkers, anti-noggers, perhaps, it's very thick, very creamy. It's like half and half, but thicker.
Yeah, for our gamers in chat, Doogsley is the nog champ.
Thick with lots of seeds.
Nog champ. Your little nog champ. And that's all I got.
Yeah, I just have water. That's it.
Okay.
Wow.
I just have. I am suffering with insomnia, and also I am trying to work because I have zero monies. So I'm trying to actually work, and I cannot sleep. Like, if I fall asleep at 1 o'clock, I am awake at 3, and my body's like, "That was a great nap." And I'm like, I have to be up in 3 hours for work. So I'm just trying to just not have caffeine this late so that I can actually sleep tonight.
I had such a hard time. Like, I've been trying to flip my sleep schedule, and so far I'm doing all right. I've been taking melatonin to go to bed between midnight and 2 a.m. each night. But last night, this keeps happening. Like, I'm alternating. One day I'll wake up at my alarm like 10 or 11 in the morning, and then the next day I sleep until 3 or 4. And then the next day I'm back up at 11. Next day is 3 or 4. So last night I woke up at like 7 in the morning, and I'd only been asleep for about 6 hours, and I was just like up. So it's like my body is still in a different circadian rhythm, and it thinks that I had napped. It was like, good nap, time to get up, like you said, Fuchsia. Yeah. And I was like, I'm not getting out of bed. No. And I was like, actually, I'll turn my alarm off. I'll turn off my like little lights that come on, you know, and simulate my sunrise. I'll turn these off, and I'll just sleep as long as I need to today, because it took me like 2 more hours to fall asleep. So it was like 9 o'clock or so in the morning by the time I fell back asleep. And then I slept until 4, and it's just not going to fly. I mean, that ends up being like 14 hours of sleep. I feel like I wasted the whole day. And it's because I know I'm still going to have to go to bed by like about 2 o'clock this morning. Otherwise I'm going to ruin all the progress I've made. And I feel like I've been doing pretty good. So I don't want to mess it up. I want to be diurnal. I want to wake up with the sunrise. I want to be normal.
I know for me, it's specifically, I was off my meds for about a week. My prescription ran out, and my psychiatrist would not renew it until I met with her, and I had to reschedule. So I was like off schedule for a week. And with bipolar meds, like bipolar disorder is like one of the things is that your sleep gets fucked up. So like my bipolar meds help regulate that. And like I've been back on them for a week, but like it hasn't fixed it yet, so I'm like just
needs
suffering.
A little more time.
So yeah, like I know what the cause is, and I know what the solution is. It's just I'm just suffering in the meantime. So yay,
just suffering. Yay.
Yeah.
Copium.
Well, today we are doing a full moon episode. Like we said, it is the full moon in Gemini. We're in Sagittarius season, so we're in the exact opposite of me right now. I'm a sun Gemini, moon Sagittarius. So we're totally on I guess we're exactly 6 months away from my birthday. Yeah, it's December 1st. My birthday was 6 months ago. Look at us go.
Wow.
We're scooting through the year. 2022 coming to an end. It's crispy and chilly out all the time now. I think that y'all have had a little bit of snow already this year too. Had a couple of little sprinkles.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
We still haven't.
I don't know if it snowed like today, but yesterday it was 13 degrees.
Ooh,
and
yikes.
Very windy, like the wind that cuts through you no matter what you're wearing. So that was fun.
Wind in the windy city.
13 degrees has got to be what, like negative 10 Celsius or something?
Something like
I
that.
believe you.
Yeah, because it's that's 20 degrees below freezing here, so it's got to be like negative 10 Celsius or so. But just for those of you that are listening that are not Fahrenheit based, so
it's something like
we've had a little snow sprinkles. We got Christmas sneaking up on us for those of y'all that celebrate that. Yule's right around the corner, so we're going to be talking a little bit about Yule today. And the cold moon, I believe, is the moon, the folklore of the moon that we're in right now, and then the full moon in Gemini. We've got some Mars retrograde energy going on. I believe we have a Mercury retrograde around the corner. I don't think it's quite started yet.
No, not yet.
But I think we're edging up to the next Mercury retrograde here. So, oh my gosh, it feels. I don't even know how to. I was honestly thinking about this earlier. I was like, I don't even know how to vibe check today. Like that's usually my like role in the astrology episodes is to do this intuitive check in, and I'm like, what does it feel like right now? Shit. Like, and then I'm like, I don't even know. I think I'm so in a personal muck that I don't even know that I'm like really like aware of the larger feelings that are going on. I'm so just zoomed in to how me right now.
Yes. I love that phrase, zoomed in. I've been feeling very zoomed in as well. Just very focused on my like day-to-days rather than just like the big picture. Just sort of taking it one day at a time.
I know we've been like joking about like we've been playing a lot of games, like we've just been gaming a lot, but that's honestly what I'm seeing from
it's been straight up copium.
People. It's just been like it's just been like all my friends like, well, the new Splatoon update just came out yesterday, but like so everyone's playing that, but even before that, like people were just like playing games, like as much free time as they had, they were playing games. And I feel like that's the vibe right now. It's just
it's interesting.
Ignore the world.
I forget if I've already said this on an episode of Celestial Cafe. I don't think I have because Thanksgiving was just last week. But I remember looking at Twitter around Thanksgiving, and there was a tweet that was getting some traction, 70,000 likes or something, and it was like, is it just me or is Thanksgiving not Thanksgiving this year? And it's tons of feedback on it, and I felt the same way around Halloween. Like a lot of people were just not feeling Halloween spirit. It feels like everyone's just kind of bleh. Like I don't know. Everyone's feeling funky right now.
We're burnt out, exhausted, and expected to perform during the holidays.
And on top of it, it's like we're a couple years out of this pandemic, and I think that the trauma of everything is just catching up with all of us. I just feel like there's a lot of shit in the air, and I think a lot of things are culminating, and we're all expected to know how to cope with this world that we're living in, and nothing makes sense. This is no one's ever lived through anything like this before, and you could say that at any point in history, but it's like 10,000 times worse too, with the magnification of the internet and how we're all having to be aware of everything that's happening 24/7, all of these traumas everywhere. I think that everything's just like, for me, I feel like I've been snowed into a cave, and I'm just like stuck there with my thoughts. But then instead of thinking about my thoughts, I'm like bashing my head against the wall to make more noise than my brain is. I don't know. Like it feels funky. That's the word that I keep coming to, is everything just feels like there's a funk hanging over everything, and it's heavy.
But not the fun
not good funk. No, this is not head bobbing funk.
This is not 70s disco funk.
This is cognitive dissonance funk. This is I'm detaching from reality and pretending this isn't happening funk. Like I don't know how to deal with this, so I'm going on autopilot funk.
Yeah.
Right? I don't really know. There's no advice to give. What the hell are we doing, y'all? I don't know. Hold on to your butts, everybody. Cause
hopefully my astrology can help a little bit.
I'm really in my depressed era right now. So that's probably
I'm really trying not to be.
That's tempering probably a lot of what I'm saying, but I've not been this low feeling in a very long time. It's interesting because the last astrology episode that we did, I feel like I was totally off base because I was like, now is the time to start a project. There's so much energy to support it. And then like within a week, I was completely collapsed in depression. And I feel like this Mars retrograde is a lot harder than I gave it credit for. There's this drive to do stuff, but there's no actual energy to back it up. Or there is the energy, but there's no
and it goes away immediately.
The energy can't actually get out. It's like like a sneeze that's stuck behind your nose that won't come out. Like everything feels like a climax that won't climax. Like you're just like there, and then it just goes away. And
that's such Mars retrograde in like a sentence. It really is.
And then I start to feel like super depressed or super disappointed in myself because like I'll literally, it's so it's like the executive dysfunction of ADHD, where you're sitting here staring at the pile of laundry on your floor and you think to yourself 1,000 times an hour, just get up and walk over and pick up the laundry. Just take it to the washer. You can do this. Just get up. And then you just go back to, you just zone back into the video game. Like I feel
it's
like
so much easier to just stay on WoW, stay on Minecraft, stay on ESO. Like just one more, I just gotta go get that last ore node, or I gotta just do this one project in my house. And it's so easier to stay in these worlds than to
I've been
tackle everything that's been building up in our real
very
world.
Escapist lately. Yeah, very much like I was feeling really sad because I was like, I posted a picture on my Instagram the other day of my house in Minecraft, and the first sentence in the post is like, building my dream house. And I was like, wow, in another timeline, I'm literally building my dream house. But in this one, I'm building my Minecraft dream house. This is so cringe.
Iconic.
I don't know about iconic.
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
By golly, I guess it's me. I'll build the fuck out of this cube house.
You are. It's beautiful.
Games is definitely something that I struggle a lot with because I love gaming. I love it probably a little too much.
Me too.
If there was something in the world that I am addicted to, it is gaming. That's where I spend a lot of time each day. It's what I look forward to each day.
Me too.
It's not good. So, and I battle a lot with, but when I look back on the hours that I've spent gaming, sure, I've got some cool WoW mounts, maybe a couple achievements, but in the grand scheme of my life,
it hurts.
Like that feels
this is how I feel
nothing.
Looking back.
It's all about the friends you make along the way.
Yeah, but
my friends,
I
yes, but I would playing with them in WoW. I probably have a lot more memories like being with them in person, right? Like the couple times I spent with my online friends in person, I have way more memories from that than from the 5 years.
This is what I've thought about my 3,000 hours in Overwatch, and I'm like, wow, what if I had spent those 3,000 hours at the gym?
What if I lifted a weight?
I'd be so swole. I'd be like out here like body, like I'd be like, look at my muscles. Yeah, I'd be so and
or like reading a book or drawing,
and like the friends,
right?
the friends you made along the way. I could have a bunch of gym bros that are like, lifting weights with me, and we'd be like doing curls, like check out my fucking can you rock this for me, bro? I don't know.
Can you rock this for me?
What is gym lingo? How does one
gym lingo? I'm working on it. A frilly little gamer girl working on her gym lingo. I'm doing my best.
You're working on it for sure.
No, rack, not rock.
Oh, I thought you said rock.
Spot me. Spot me, bro.
Yes. You're learning.
I'm trying. So yeah, my vibe check is shit's whack, to be honest.
Wiggity whack.
Yes, wiggity whack. Definitely.
That's the summary of this episode.
Yeah, it's definitely not regular type whack. It's wiggity whack. I'm hoping that the cloud will lift. I feel like it will, because over the last week or so, I was able to do my nails for the first time, which is a stupid thing to say, but like that's like a small act of self-care. And this is also like the other thing where I was like, oh, I'm coming out of it is I was living day to day and just taking all of my pill bottles. I have to take my medicine daily. So taking all the pill bottles. And if I remember pulling one pill out at a time, normally I have my little 7-day pill planner thing. And for like a week straight, I was just like, sometimes I'd forget to take my pills. Sometimes I wouldn't. And I'm just taking one out of all the bottles. And then one day I finally sat down and filled up that 7-day pill planner. And I was like, oh, I see a week's worth of future ahead of me. I'm planning for the future. Yeah. Wow, this is good. Yeah. Like I'm coming out of it.
I have stopped doing my little pill planner, and I need to.
Me too.
Also, actually taking them when my alarm for them goes off, because sometimes it's like, 4 hours later, and like some of mine like depend on taking the same time every day. And so yeah, I need to do that. Let's have a pill organizing
Party.
reminder.
And I see Kiki Beth Plays in chat saying, I tried to force myself to do content creation today. Instead, just cried and then played Splatoon. Like, if I didn't have these other 3 with me in Celestial Cafe, I would have canceled today's stream. I straight up not having a good time. But it's because I slept late, and then I was just like, all right, and I've got a dog sit all weekend. So we talked about this in our shadow work episode, I think, where we're like proud of ourselves for Celestial Cafe, but there's some episodes where we're like really having individually, one of us is really having to bully ourselves into doing it. We don't have the energy. We don't want to. We're having a bad day. We're having a bad week. That's that's today. I don't feel like this is the worst by any means, but I certainly would have canceled if it was just up to me today.
Yeah. And then we all get into VC and we have our our little silly chatting before we go live, and it always like gets us really psyched up. Like I joined VC today, and Dukes had a werewolf filter on.
Oh god!
You want to see
specifically the werewolf from Skyrim, which made it a million times better.
And Shady was just singing the Wii Shop song, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm here now.
You like this?
There you go. You got an instant replay of us before the podcast.
Not so like podcast listeners being like, "What's going on?"
If you're
watch the YouTube video.
Celestial Cafe is when we're not being professional. That's it.
Okay, so
I love it.
vibe check. Honestly, like I think that the way that we're discussing this is the perfect Mars in retrograde. No, Mars in Gemini specifically. Take the retrograde out, but it's like, oh, everything sucks, but here's a werewolf and a silly little theme song. So like laughing at the pain is the only way. It's my copium right now, and like having having a group around me. So if you are feeling the funk, and you can manage to do this, try to get yourself around your bestie or your friend or something, even if it's just to y'all both sit together in silence. What I learned this phrase the other day from, thank you Twitter, called body doubling, and it's specific for it's especially helpful for people with ADHD. But it's another phrase you might recognize instead of body doubling is co-working. Body doubling meaning there's a second body in the room with you. And for some reason, for especially people with ADHD, it gives you more accountability. And it's the same for me. Like, come over and hang out in my room so I can clean it. Like, if you're here, then I can get the room clean. Like, or if you're here, then I could actually study for this test. Because it's like, it feels better to have someone there with you. So if you're especially feeling this funk, that's been the one thing that has kept me from swirling to the pits of despair and totally losing myself in the music the moment you want it, you better never let it go, is having a squad. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance. So yeah, if you can, and not everyone has that available to them. So if that's the case, then I would probably recommend getting out of any negative media that you're watching and try to watch some more uplifting media, as much as you might hate it. I know when I'm in my mood where I only want to watch true crime and horror and gossip and drama and these negative, like low energy feeling, the idea of watching a stand-up comedy or like lighthearted sitcoms or something is like repulsive to me. But if you can maybe do an hour or two of that a day, or like instead of the hour or two of just like totally like dragging you down, instead of, because I know not everyone has access to friends or whatever it is. So
there's co-working videos on YouTube, which are great, or like plan with me's are always good if you're like sitting down and just needing to get some work done. Or we have the Celestial Cafe Discord if you want to just come in and hang out and chill. So yeah, you're always welcome. Make some friends.
So that's my vibe check. Hope y'all liked it.
We loved it.
I liked it. It was a good time.
Whomst would like to go next? Where shall we bounce to?
I think we're up for
I think I can. Right? Yeah, there's some things I could definitely
astrology.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pop us over.
We got some stuff to talk about.
Tell us, Professor Dukes, how do we get out of this funk?
Don't worry, I got you. But first, we have to talk about Gemini energy,
Yay!
which a lot of us have here. Yay!
Not me.
Yeah,
Not me.
yeah, you're the only
You all
ones
make
there.
up for it, you know.
Yeah, we're all a bunch of airheads, and you keep us grounded and focused, thankfully. So, this full moon is in Gemini. Woo! I'm a new moon Gemini baby, so I'm actually kind of oddly out of water right now. I'm feeling so tired. Like, I've been eepy these last, 5 days. The full moon is going to be on Wednesday, December 7th. And it's going to be peaking at 11:08 p.m. EST. So that's going to be at night. So hopefully you'll be able to see it nice and bright at that time. That'll make it 8:08 p.m. PST, 4:08 a.m. GMT the following day. And yeah, let's talk about Gemini energy. It's an air sign. It's immutable. It's ruled by Mercury. I mean, so for the record, if you don't already know, we have a big, healthy Gemini cast here. You probably are already familiar with what Gemini energy is, even if you don't already know, because pretty much all of us exude
Gemini
it. Stellium
over here.
Except for me.
Venus, Mercury, and Sun in Gemini in the 3rd house of communication. So
it's cuckoo clock time.
it is bird o'clock. Sorry, I usually try to be quiet when it's chirping.
And for me, I'm a Gemini Sun and Moon in the 4th house, and it rules my life. So I wrote down a few phrases that I associate with Gemini energy. Airhead, communication genius, and I want to expand on that for a second. Genius not meaning that we always know the right thing to say at all times, but I think of it like an Einstein kind of genius, where we're 50 steps ahead of you at all times in the conversation. And that means that we're going to sound like fucking crazy.
And
sometimes.
we also can be kind of assholes because we feel like we already know what you're going to say, because we do. Spoiler alert.
Because we do. Yeah, we're usually right about where things are going to go communicationally. Trivia fiend, indeed. We like to know everything. We like to absorb. We like to understand. We like to educate ourselves radically, and specifically in a little bit of everything. Curiouser is something I wrote. Also, Alice from Alice in Wonderland is the one true Gemini, the blueprint, for sure. Pixie-like mischievousness. That's a hard word. Analytical, indeed. We like to observe and take in everything, like I said. Clever. We are deeply, deeply clever. Don't you forget it. Voracious learners. We love to learn. It's important to us to learn. It's important to us to activate our little brain cells.
We want to be able to manage a conversation with anyone at any time about anything and still feel like we can it's not about dominating, but keep the pace. We want to be we want to be keeping the pace with anybody.
Yeah,
no
not
matter
be
what
like drowning in the conversation. You have to be able to tread water and not for me there's like a big I have my rising Gemini, and I think my first house or my second house is in Gemini as well. But there's like definitely like a fear of not keeping up, a fear of being like as a not seeming keeping it in with the in crowd, so to speak, like of being left out, of being the odd one out of a conversation.
FOMO.
Yeah.
I think that we want to be available conversationally in many different ways and aspects. Conversation's very important to Geminis, being able to bounce off of another person. I think of that twin dynamic where it's important to have those people to kind of bounce off of. It takes two to tango type of
banter.
Energy. We love banter. Love to have a little,
we just be talking. We will it's just back and forth, and like it doesn't matter what's being said as long as something's being said.
Yeah, it's bullshitters to the nth degree.
Oh my god,
so powerful.
We're so fluent in the language of bullshit.
We are. We're wordsmiths. We're able to conjure up these incredible
eloquent.
What was that?
Very eloquent.
Yes, we have to be. We have to be able to communicate in all dialects, in all understandings, in all ways. It communication.
I feel like Gemini are the bards of the zodiac.
Thank you. It's true. I agree with that. I because this kind of actually leads me into the axis, which is the Gemini Sagittarius axis. And I think that the one thing that brings them together, that creates this coin that they share, is the pursuit of knowledge. I think that both Gemini and Sagittarius are deeply, they need to continue to expand the mind. Now, the difference between the two is that the Sagittarians have no problem leaving their room and doing these things and like being extroverted and stuff. And this is speaking as an extrovert. Sagittarians are on a completely new level of extrovert, and they want to meld into societies, and they want to become one with cultures. We just want to read about it, and we want to create an understanding of it mentally, while Sagittarians are more like a full body experience where they really put themselves out there.
The fun thing about a Gemini sun Sag moon, though, and probably vice versa, is if somebody were to knock on my door and be like, hey, I got 2 plane tickets to Rome for the next week and all of it's paid, do you want to go with me? I'd be like, fuck yeah. Like that's because it's going to please my explorative brain. Sagittarians want to go somewhere. They want to see something new. They're always wanting to expand. And they're also, this is what I think that Sagittarius and Gemini has in common is they don't like to be owned or claimed or tied down, which can make relationships difficult with the wrong type of person. Scorpio, for example, Scorpio are obsessive lovers. And it's really good for certain types of signs, but like a Scorpio is vindictively jealous sometimes. And if you put that on a Gemini, Sagittarius, either of them really, they're going to rebel and be like, you don't own me, by the way. And aloof, they're very aloof, but at the same time, they're dedicated. But if you can give them the freedom that they want and need, what's the Miley Cyrus incredibly famous Sagittarian energy, the Can't Be Tamed song, and Midnight Sun's The Road I'm Taking, that song that she just came out with, they're
Party
both
in the USA. She traveled a lot.
They're both very like all of those songs are very can't be tamed, can't own me. I'm so wow. I bet you thought that I would never move on from you, but look, I already got someone new. Like it's very much like energy like that. There's another song, You Don't Own Me. I'm not just one of yours silly toys. Like so there's this. I think that goes hand in hand with the Gemini, like this axis specifically. Mm-hmm. The Geminis love and need to be the host, hostess, the entertainer, I want to be able to walk into a party and go around and flirt and talk and hang out with everybody and know that there's not some person that's going to hold it against me at the end of the night. That's like, wow, the way you talk to that person, you're totally cheating on me. I'm going to dump you immediately, So, and that's just this does not want to be owned, does not want to be contained. Let them be free energy. And that's, I think, goes along with like this airy fairy energy too. They want to be able to float and go everywhere.
Yeah. I always associate Geminis with fae and pixie dust energy, just very flitting, very sly sometimes, and very adaptable. They can blend in really well. Everyone talks about like this chameleon energy that is pervasive in individuals, and while I think it's like a mutable sign thing to be able to chameleon through things, I think that Geminis are the blueprint of really just being able to appear as they need to.
This is socially. Why we get called fake and two-face all the time, though.
Yeah, we have to adapt accordingly. Something that I say so much is you gotta keep up with me. I'm not slowing down. And it's nothing personal. I'm not gonna hate you if you can't keep up with me. But if you can't keep up with me, then you're gonna be left behind. That's all I know. Because in my mind, my life is going 1,000,000 miles a minute. And if you're not willing to... I attribute that to my Gemini-ness in particular. If
ruled by earth signs, the slowest ever.
Which I respect. I respect that. I just I can't live like that. I wish I had that in me. And all my earth is debilitated to shit. So I do what I can.
I think that's why I don't mesh well with most Geminis. I can keep up, but it is exhausting. It is not it's not my nature,
right?
So it's I'm I really, really appreciate your energy. I mean, obviously, I like you, like the people on this podcast, but like in general, like I don't have like a lot of that energy in my life just because it is exhausting to me. My sister is a Gemini, and my whole life, like growing up, it was like, oh my god, this is not me at all.
So as like a Libra Gemini rising, I love Geminis because I can kind of take a step back from heading the conversation. I don't have to be the one who's spilling all the dead air because I know you guys have it, and I can just kind of like interject as I see fit. It lets me like relax and take a step back in the conversation, take like the second or third chair, which I enjoy. So.
Cool. I love to head conversation. I love to direct. I think that conversational
Gemini
energy
can overwhelm some people, and it also
they can't keep up.
And this is something that's just true of all astrology, but there's an immature, undeveloped version of a sign, and there's the mature, developed version of the sign. So having an immature Gemini on your hands, an undeveloped Gemini on your hands is going to be a lot. And you better watch what you tell them because they're going to run their mouth and tell everybody.
I think of all the signs, I mean, maybe this is just like me being no Gemini whatsoever, but I think of all the signs, Gemini is the most obvious when it's immature energy versus mature energy. Like
I'm baby
is drastic, like
so
not in that kind of way,
okay.
but like
drama,
like, you know, like spiritually developed. I feel like when it comes to Gemini, it's really, really obvious.
It can be, but it can't be, because the thing is, Gemini are masters of disguise. So you really might not know when you're dealing, and this is why I will stress, like I deal with inner family dramas here, where one family member will tell me something, and it's supposed to be a secret. And if you don't tell me it's supposed to be a secret, I'm just like, that's gossip. I'm going to go tell somebody. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to go to my mom and say, oh my God, did you hear this?
Literally, yeah.
And it's just because I like to talk and I like to share and I like to...
Me too.
But if you tell me it's a secret, I'll hold it as a secret. But you have to... So when you are talking to a Gemini, you better watch yourself.
I have been burned so many times. I've been burned so many times by myself thinking that something was regular knowledge, not realizing it was told to me in confidence.
And then I'm in trouble. And it's like, hold up, don't tell me shit then. Like
you have to explicitly tell me,
this is my nature, okay?
This is not to be shared with anyone, because if not, my mom will know about it, my boyfriend, my dog. Literally, everyone's gonna know about it.
This is
Cooper spilling all the secrets.
He's the worst. Like, he's the worst.
Yeah. Cooper can't just. This is like the story of the frog that is giving is the frog and the scorpion that are trying to cross the water together. And the frog's like, I'll take you across, little scorpion. And the scorpion's like, don't, because I'll sting you. And the frog's like, no, it's okay. And then the scorpion stings the frog. And he's like, why would you do that? And the scorpion's like, I told you, I'm a scorpion. Why would you? I told you this is going to. So it's the same thing. Like, it's just in our nature. So I think that if you understand what you're dealing with a Gemini.
But listen, we just be talking. It's also not that deep.
And it's not personal. And it's not vindictive either. It's just it's banter, it's filling space, and we're
also curious.
Yes.
We want to create conversation.
I want to know the reaction. I want to know. I want to see. I want to experience. I want to. And
we're storytellers. You tell us a good story, we're gonna tell everyone the story. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah. Okay. But there's also a bit of like a stereotype around Gemini that a lot of content creators have a lot of Gemini in their chart, because Gemini are natural born entertainers too.
Yeah. Jot that down. We're very good at that.
Like, I want to be clear. I absolutely appreciate Gemini energy. Like, I think Gemini energy is great. I need it in small doses in my life. Like, I love getting. I need
it in small doses.
I love getting together with all of you. And this is great.
There's a butt coming.
But I don't bring this into my life. I would not have a roommate who's a Gemini.
Heartbroken? I'm going to journal about this. Actually, I'm going to vlog about this later.
I need to do some shadow work.
Not making it into content.
Traumatized?
my roommate is a Taurus, and let me tell you, like, we are, like, it's great. We move slow. We don't even talk to each other most days, but, like, not in a malicious way. Just, like, it's very not Gemini energy. It's great. So, but I appreciate you.
Thank you.
This feels really shady.
I feel the love.
No, you're shady.
True. True.
All right. No. So let's talk about this full moon in particular. This specific full moon. Of course, we talk about Gemini for 500 hours because that's just the nature of Gemini. This is the way it is. Even just us waxing poetic about this sign for ages is truly in Gemini spirit. But let's look at this full moon in particular. There's a few things that really caught my eye. The first thing that I try to look at when I look at the astrology is the ruler of the moon that the sign's in. That's a sentence. So the ruler of Gemini is Mercury. So I wanted to check out, okay, where's Mercury? Right now it's in Capricorn, which isn't really a fun place for Mercury, in my opinion. And it's conjunct Venus. And it's square Jupiter. Now, what does all that mean? The Mercury conjunct Venus, that means that they're right on top of each other. So they're working in tandem right now. And then square Jupiter, squares, unpleasant. We don't like squares. They're tough, they're constricting, and they make us feel very uncomfortable. So the first thing that I thought of when I saw that was like, wow, this is, and let me explain because it sounds so random. This is a great time for learning. I think about Mercury, which is this master of communication, a master of education in general. Just constantly wanting to learn more and more. Conjunct Venus, which is this planet of love and of beauty and of aesthetic and of what keeps us in our heart full of love, full of adoration. So we have this Mercurius creature with this aesthetic, loving Venus. And we have this Jupiter energy kind of looming in the distance. And I think this would just be a really good time, Jupiter being this just big planet. It's just this big energy in general. And it's in Pisces, so it's kind of keeping us a little psychedelic, a little bit out there. And I think that with all this sort of like heady energy, I think a really good way to ground right now is like, what's something you want to learn about? What is something you want to like really dig your heels into and like just like I'm talking,
I really
like,
dug my
academic.
heels into that Good Morning America drama that was going on.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
Pop culture.
I have finals, so
That's gossip.
I am just like absolutely drowning in education right now and learning. So
cool.
finals next week, and I have to catch up on all the projects I've been slacking on because depression.
Well, this is the time to do that for sure, especially if you love what you're learning about, because that's the important thing. That's the Venus, right? Mm-hmm. That's and Venus. It's interesting because there is a conjunction happening. Mercury's in Capricorn, Venus is in Sagittarius. So, nevertheless, they're conjunct at the moment, and I feel like that this is just
actually,
such a good...
my Mercury is in Capricorn and my Venus is in Sagittarius.
What the? Okay, well, you are in tune right now with the universe, I suppose, and I think that that being like a solution right now, it feels like a soft solution. It just feels like something to do, because I've been really wanting to get back into learning Japanese. So it's like, like just something that I can really just absorb my brain into, something that soothes me and is animated for my head and my brain spot. I think that's really good. However, I must acknowledge that this can be boring. That's why I kind of brought it up like academically. This feels like a very mundane placement. So it's like, and this is where the danger comes in, right? Because I gave this, it feels like just feels like a very studious, curious moon. But I don't think people are feeling very studious or curious. I think a lot of people are feeling fucking out of control. And that's where this Mars retrograde is coming in. And this moon is conjunct Mars
I would use
retrograde.
The word scattered for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Scatterbrains.
Yeah. I don't think people are feeling very focused or feeling very eager to expand the mind right now. I think a lot of us, you used the word escapism earlier.
I tried to read like an educational, like academic book last night, which is on a topic I'm very interested in, but I was just like, actually, I would rather sleep.
Yeah, and that's why I brought up the word boring. I think that's a boring thing to do, but I think this is kind of a fucking boring moon. I think that this moon is sort of meant to be kind of quiet and kind of internal. And especially because of this Mars influence, can we have like a Mars check-in real quick? Has this Mars retrograde not been fucking horrendous for anyone else?
Horrible.
Actually,
absolutely horrible.
Bad. Actually a bad time. And so now this moon, this very tender part of our chart, this very emotional part of our chart, is working in tandem with reactive, fiery Mars. and it's like, as always with Gemini energy, we're being met with a choice, right? Are we going to sort of enter this bookworm phase for a moment during this full moon? And like I picture like one side of the coin, there's this studious little school person just like reading in a dusty library. And then there's the other person who's this chatty socialite, just like really engaged, really animated. But here's the thing, I think that
I'm the one in the library.
That's
Deuce
good.
is the one that's chatty.
No. But listen, right now, I want to be library girl because I am not in the space right now. I'm so sensitive. And that's the thing, Mars retrograde, big word, sensitive, oddly tender. There's a tenderness and like that uncomfortable tenderness where like you're a little sore. Mars is very physical
and prone to lashing out, prone to reactionary. Yeah.
Yes, I wrote an extra reactive and animated moon, skittish and quick to react. That's how I'm feeling right now, and that's kind of why I want to sit in my hidey hole in my library and just kind of put my head in a book and just try to exert that energy elsewhere.
I think it's important to mention too with entering into this choice right now, because the Gemini in tarot is the Lover's card. So it is like two roads diverge. We've got the paths departing, but we're coming out of this eclipse season as well. So there's probably, if you look back over the last, I'd say like 6 to 8 weeks, what has been a major lesson for you, or revelation is even a word I want to use. What has been a major focus? What are you there? I'm sure if you look back, there's something that you're like, I should have been doing this. There's a lesson that keeps coming here. It's telling me to do this. I'm supposed to be doing this. Why am I not doing this? Or something along those lines. A change you should make. It could be a breakup or something like that. I imagine it's more a lifestyle choice.
This moon feels very practical. This moon feels very solo, very solitude. I wouldn't make any big decisions regarding interpersonal relationships during this time because of that Mars retrograde influence. You're already going to be feeling flared up, extra sensitive. Look out for tempers, your own and others, and just be aware that everyone's feeling very squeezed right now. And it's going to come down to this physicalness too. Like I said, that Mars influence, it's so physical. And on top of that, the moon is trine Saturn zaddy, the one who gets all their shit done. The moon is in flow with this adulting figure in the sky. You're going to be actively rewarded for acts of seriousness and control. You're going to be focusing on building safe foundations. That's Saturn. That feel good, the moon. I think that's the play. And I think that this is a great moon for starting new mundane and practical routines like working out and exercising. I think that'll be so good to channel that energy that has been bubbling within all of us for so long, and just sort of channeling that Martian energy in a healthy way. It's super
So that's
important.
one thing I've been really like feeling lately, I think, is that I like have the desire to do so much, but I only have the energy to do so little. So I kind of have to make the tough decisions of what is going to what choice do I need to make that's going to best serve like my future self right now?
Yeah.
Like, is it sitting and playing World of Warcraft?
I know, but then this is where this is where the difficulty
whatever.
comes in. This is where I feel like there's the word stagnation is a word that I want to use, and this is coming to the choice, and this is coming to the eclipse energy. There's been shit boiling for weeks and weeks and weeks now that you're aware of, that you need to act upon. And I like the word channel the energy into something. And for me, a great word, or not even a word, but I literally signed up for a 3-month gym membership and I haven't been in over a month. Like that to me is like, this is something over the last, just to give a practical example, over the last like 6 to 8 weeks, this has been a major focus for me that I'm like, I have to make this change in my life. And now here in this retrograde energy, of course, the eclipses brought it up, and what that's going to manifest as is like different health problems, different health concerns that are physically boiling up and being like, bitch, why haven't you taken care of this? So I'm aware of these things. And now I'm here with this gross, funky energy of I've got the drive inside to do this, but then I can't act upon it. There's a blockage. There's that climax without a climax feeling I was talking about earlier. And you can either push through it or you can go into copium mode. And this, I feel like, is the path. And so like today, I could have gotten out of bed on time, but I chose the lazy path. I chose the stay in bed all day path. And I could have picked the different one. And now I'm feeling frustrated, built up energy because I didn't release it. I held it in, and I chose I don't want to use the word wrong, but I chose a path that's now leading me to feel this way.
You chose the easy short-term route.
Yes. Yeah. And this
we can choose this easy comfort now, or we can choose the hard route, but that's going to make us happier in the long run. And our future self is going to thank us for doing.
It's difficult to choose this hard path because when we try to apply the energy, it feels like it can't come out. And that's where I feel like is the big frustration with this current astrological energy. You want to do something, but you can't get the energy out, and then you're frustrated that it won't come out, and then you're however you personally self-punish or the way that you react when you don't do something right. Like that will start to be what's going on.
Luckily we all are supported right now. I think that astrologically, I think a good solution is what people do, like I need to clean my room, but I'm going to set a timer and just do it for 5 minutes. I think that, and then you start to get in the flow, and then you clean for 10 minutes instead. I think it's that physically showing up is really important right now. I think that's healthy for Mars. I think that remediates the Mars, and just sort of soothes it a little bit, gets a little bit of that Martian energy out. Physically showing up is important. Not even physically doing the thing, but physically just being a part of the process a little bit. When I wrote, I was and doing so with focus as well. You know, it's I think that just simply being physically present to where you need to be is important right now. So you haven't gone to the gym? Go to the gym. You don't have to work out. Just show up. And that kind of practice. Yeah. But then you're going to show up, and then you're going to do it anyway.
Once you get there, you want to do it.
It's next on my list. There. I'll add another addendum just to my personal example is that instead of the gym, I have been prioritizing my sleep schedule because as Kiki is saying in chat, there's limited sunlight right now. So I want to be up earlier in the day. And once I want to get it anchored, because I feel like if I add too many things at one time, I'm going to rebel against all of it, and it's going to fall back to where it was before I made any changes. And I might even regress a little bit further. So I guess I would also add in here, choose your battles. You can't take it all on at the same time.
But your body wants to move. I think that's something really important right now. Like movement is really important at the moment. The stillness is going to just keep building and building and building until it explodes. And I think that a lot of people are exploding. So it's just, this is a healthy astrological moment. This is a healthy moon and a safe moon to get focused into some of these physical changes. And I mean, like, physically setting up your space to do art, physically cleaning your space. I even wrote down just like, give yourself a shake and a twirl if you're feeling overwhelmed. Like the Mars needs this, where Mars isn't going anywhere for a while. And this moon, I think, is a really good excuse to sort of like, because it's that combination of, like, the emotions of the moon and the physicality, the visceralness of Mars, sort of marrying those two together, like screaming into pillows energy, like, like just sort of giving into the emotions physically. But there's also, like I said, a very acute sense of focus and studiousness and academia that's sort of in the air right now too. Where
Dark academia?
Potentially, if you would like it that way. What I wrote in particular was, will you spend this moon thoughtfully and in study and focus, or will you lose yourself in sensations and give into ardor? And I think that that's the choice that we're being given at the moment. Are you
so I just went and bought like a couple journals and stuff, or like notebooks, to try and like help ground my ideas a little bit. Like,
that's a great idea.
I feel like I'm all up in my brain right now and just like, let's get this physically, like I'm getting off the technology. I love my Google Sheets. I can't live without it. But right now I feel like I need something more tangible.
Yeah.
And to keep track, because number one, I need to stay away from the distraction that is my computer. But two, just like physically having something is helping me have like the mental momentum right now to get what I need done. So just like having my little notebook for the past 2 days, I've gotten back on track a little bit with like my shop launch and things like that, because I have like something tangible and something grounded to
and as an extension of that, this is for witches, the witches out there. This is a good time to re-up your altar and reconvene with it and reconnect with that space. I think that's important. That's another physical connection that we can
reconnect with the mundane to reconnect to the magical right now.
Yeah, it's important. And I mean that helps with the Mercury in Capricorn, right? Mercury in such an earthy sign, sort of creating a tangibleness to your thoughts. I think that's perfect to do right now. Because I think we have a lot of up here, and I think that the silence is important at the moment. Or you can give into the craziness, and you can keep your flames crazy and be extra sensitive and tender and explode. It's up to you. I maybe some people need to do that right now. I don't know. I certainly don't.
I feel like depending on what you've got going on, either like it could be what you need.
Yeah. Maybe some people gotta lean into the chaos right now. But
like I feel
I don't
like
know if that's what most of us.
I haven't been doing any movement like whatsoever, like towards my goals, like one way or another. I haven't been. So maybe I should embrace the chaos. Maybe I should make a plan.
Maybe.
Either way, it's better than what's being stagnant right now.
True.
So
stagnancy is just not good right now.
Yeah.
I think is something.
But I think that's like what the funk that a lot of us are feeling is that.
And we're also kind of forced into stagnancy. We're entering the holiday season. There's a lot of there's encouraged stillness, understandably, with the seasons changing. We're entering the chill. We're entering this mammalian hibernation that resides deep within all of our subconsciousnesses that are starting to bubble up, and it to be told that do one more thing before you're actually stagnant for the rest of the year. Like this, it's important. Like I think that there's too much built up energy right now, and this is a great moon to let it out. And I think if we can find some sort of balance between, really, like I said, that it's just such a good moon to learn. And to really, and that's why I said in particular, this is such a good moon for like exercise routines. Like I want to learn how to strength train. Like I'm gonna dig my heels deep into that. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm definitely feeling the squeeze right now, and there's definitely big changes that are on my heels.
When you're squeezed.
When you are squeezed, what comes out is what's inside. It's true.
That's it.
And there's some ugly feelings inside right now. So maybe we should I should do something about that. And for me personally, I think I need to channel this into just physical movement, physical flow. I just think that this is a perfect moon for something like that. So I guess in conclusion, I just want to say, like, once again, you're given a choice. Are you going to approach this slightly earthy moon, but mostly it's so dry. That's the phrase I've been using for so long with this astrology right now. It's dry. It's so quick to it's so quick to burst into flames and take us over, right? And I think that a good way to sort of temper that and balance it out is by, this is definitely another stay in your lane moment. I don't think that this is a time to convene with many people because everyone's feeling a little flared up. And I think that this is just a really good time to tap into this quiet within ourselves and learn something that really matters to us, encourage a new lifestyle change, because Mars can be useful. It's just in a really unfortunate place at the moment. But I think that if we can kind of direct that energy lovingly and powerfully, we can start to make these changes that we've been really wanting to embrace for a while.
Definitely a great time to like ground and center that energy so that way you can utilize the Mars energy in like a better way.
Yeah, because it's crazy out there, and Mars is gonna be torturing us for a little bit while longer.
Like
so,
3 or 4 more months.
Yeah, it's gonna be haunting us in Gemini for a while. It's not very happy there, especially with the other stuff in the sky right now.
Ooh.
So for those of you who are feeling overwhelmed, angry, sad, even tender, try channeling some of that energy. During this full moon in a physical fashion. I think you'll be surprised to feel a little bit of that weight lifted off.
Yeah, I actually feel like physical. Once you said it, I was like, that actually sounds really great. Like getting back to like doing my Just Dance and
just sweating, and, you know,
like just getting it out. That sounds really good. So
yeah,
cool. Thanks, Stoogsley.
You're welcome. I've done it again. All right, that's all I got.
All right, so I guess we're ready to jump over to you, Panthera, for our cold moon check-in with our little shadow prompts. Yes?
Absolutely. So for everybody here in the chat, and if you're listening to this in the podcast, there will be a link down below or in the podcast notes / description, I guess, depending on what app you're in. That is the blog post that corresponds with this moon. So you have all your notes right there ready for you. So the cold moon is the name for December's full moon, and this moon is actually Celtic in origin. This is one of our first Celtic full moon names. It is obviously in reference to the drop of temperatures this time of year, at least if you're in the northern hemisphere. So
who would have thought?
Right? So surprised. But being in the month of December, this cold moon always kind of lands near to the winter solstice. So a lot of the same themes kind of correspond through here. So some magical workings that are really good for this time of year, if you're looking to do some spell work or anything, are themes of change, gratitude, growth, peace, reflection, reawakening, rest, self-care, shadow work, and transformation. So there's a lot of themes of kind of reflecting on where we've been, connecting with the now, and preparation and taking those next steps like towards the future. It's very much like a little, I don't know, I kind of feel like we're entering our cocoons so that we can reemerge during this time. So yeah, it's very, very transformative, but with purpose. Mm-hmm. So some of the like colors and crystals and things that correspond with this time of this moon is the colors are black, green, silver, red, and white. So very Christmassy colors.
I was gonna say that aligns.
Our crystals for this time are clear quartz, garnet, moss agate, one of my favorites, obsidian, ruby, and serpentine.
Oh, got some right here.
Oh, yay. Oh, I love it. So pretty.
Very Gemini stone as well.
Mm-hmm. Great deities to work with during this time are Athena, Hades, Minerva, Osiris, and Persephone. Some great herbs are cinnamon, holly, and peppermint. And trees would be cedar, fir, oak, and pine. The element for this moon is surprisingly fire, which kind of goes with all this like Mars energy. We've got like lots of like hot, dry energy going on. Mm-hmm. So a lot of correspondences here between what's going on astrologically and this actual folkloric information for this moon. So, and then I put together a little tarot spread for you guys if you wanted to pull some cards and try it out. So the first card is, what is something that I need to further reflect on right now? So what is something that you might be overlooking or something that you need to just devote a little more time to before you tuck it away? So something that maybe you thought you've delved into enough, but there's more to learn there. The second card is, where am I in need of transformation in my life? Where should you be focusing on right now? What might you be ignoring? Where do you need the most energy directed towards? Where's the area that you should be focusing on and transforming in this part of your life? And then what is a step I need to take right now to best serve my future self? What do you guys think? Are you guys pulling some cards?
I'm pulling some cards, yeah. I was like, we're so quiet.
I just want to say, for where am I in need of transformation in my life? I got the Tower, which is
maybe it all
everywhere.
A card of transformation. And I'm just like,
burn it all down.
Burn it all to the ground.
Burn it to the ground.
Whether you like it or not.
I feel like I am.
Expect the unexpected.
And I don't like it, but I feel like I am. So,
I'm not pulling any cards because I'm sick of this lady following me everywhere. So I think
Queen of Pentacles?
So I think I just need to keep working with her. I'm happy she's here, but she's mine's nonstop.
Kind of whack. So I got the Two of Swords for the first one, but something I need to further reflect on, which this card says indecision and avoidance. Then where am I in need of transformation? I got the Nine of Rings, which is the Nine of Pentacles, abundance and fortitude. And then for the what is a step I need to take to best serve my future self, the Lovers reversed. Anybody got any ideas? Sounds like all I was talking about. There's all these choices and paths, and I'm making the wrong decision every day, and not like with the Nine of Pentacles with this abundance and fortitude and sort of like ability to take care of myself. I feel like that's why, I don't know, it feels very apt considering I sat here and juggled whether I should apply for a job or not for like 2 weeks. And which I feel like Pocahontas when she's like, should I marry Kokomo? Is all my dreaming at an end? Like that's how I feel. Pop reference number 3. Let's go. But that's how it feels. It's like I could, or do you still wait for me, Dream River? Like there's two very different choices I could be making, and I just kind of like I put in the application, and I'm basically like, I've made the effort, and now if it's meant to be, then the universe I guess is going to give it to me. And if it's not, then I guess I'm, still on Dream River, just around the river bend kind of shit. But I feel like that's like addressing the Nine of Pentacles a little bit. So it's like I have two very different paths ahead of me, and I'm hesitating on making any choices because at this point I just feel like I don't trust myself anymore, and I can't tell what's my intuition and what's a manic episode.
Whoa.
So
it was Nine of Pentacles, right?
Say what?
It was Nine of Pentacles?
Yes.
So Nine of Pentacles is also the card of like stability, foundation, and family, right? It is a card of kind of financial structure, familial structure, like the mundane. To me, it's like the house card. It's like the home that you have built, kind of a thing. So to me, I would take a look at that. And where are you in need of transformation in your life? Your structure, in regards to your abundance and your prosperity, the structure of how you wish to achieve that abundance and prosperity. So like maybe just some some reflection on your long-term goals a little bit, and like, what are your long-term goals? Do you have goals set out for you right now, or are you kind of like,
how do I have goals when I don't even know if I should be taking this new job or if I should be trying, like, it's really hard.
But if you have long-term goals of what you want to achieve, you want to move out, or you want to save a certain amount of money.
I've had those same goals
having that clear
for years. Like, I have goals, but like, it doesn't change this decision in the moment, because no matter what, both of these goals would still serve that long-term goal.
Mm-hmm. Two things. One, 2 of Swords at that first part made me laugh because it said, what is something I need to further reflect on? It's reflection.
Yeah, because it's just that blindfolded girl with the swords across her, like, feeling like she's like, oh, I can't take a step because I'm surrounded by mud, but it's just like one little puddle, like.
And also, like, with the 2 of Swords, it's such a meditative card. It really encourages this internal journey. I think that, to
very
me,
shadow work to me.
Yeah, there's still more answers within that you aren't even aware of.
I'm about
right
had
now.
It with shadow work.
That's not shadow work.
If you haven't listened to our shadow work episode yet, please
check out our last episode. Where I also have about had it with shadow work.
and I think that it's just, if you're confused about a lot of things, and the 2 of Swords encourages the idea that all the answers are within, and you just have to keep going deeper and deeper and deeper. And if you're feeling so confused about something that can uplift your life, then there's something within, usually fear, right? It's usually fear.
Of course there's fear. Like, how can I live life without fear right now? There's no way to. There's no way for, like, that's what it feels like to me. Feels like no matter what choice I make, shit's still going to be whack. And no matter what happens, like, nothing's ever going to be stable and secure. And I don't think that's just a personal thing. I think that's just society things. And like, nothing feels secure, nothing feels stable. It feels like there's no future worth hoping for because everything's falling apart around us. Like, I told y'all I'm in my depression era.
So I think that also, though, with the 9 of Pentacles, it's such a card of gratefulness. There's a gratitude that is so seamless with the 9 of Pentacles, because they're surrounded by this beautiful foliage, the animals that come and visit. It is just an abundant harvest that happens in the 9 of Pentacles. And
tell
I think
that to my bank account.
One of the most important things, I think, though, is being grateful for the journey along the way that got you to the things that actually matter and the things that have stuck for this long. Because, like, it's Pentacles, it's rooted, it's earthy, long-term things. It's a check-in card. It's a check-in with yourself before you enter this deep, slow, fruitful growth phase that happens in the 10 of Pentacles. That's incredibly long-term and ancestral to a level. It's like the stepping stone into this complete absorption into the abundance of you and your forefathers and your ancestors, and you creating this stepping stone path for your future self. You have to appreciate yourself right now first, and appreciate the harvests that you've reaped and sowed up until this
It's
point.
moments like this where I'm just like, I just don't care about any of this anymore. I'm like, I don't want to appreciate what's in them. I feel okay, I have.
I'll stop talking.
Well, no, I don't mean it like that. But like, I don't know. I guess it's like, how have I not been like, and of course I'm not trying to like personally rebut to you, but it's like, have I not been grateful? Have I not been, and then this again harkens back to breaking my arm when I'm trying to please my inner child over the summer and all of these different things where it's like, at this point, my intuition keeps fucking me up. Like, it keeps fucking me over. So how can I know what I should do anymore? Because every time I make a decision, something bad happens, like, or something falls apart, or, you know.
Then
I feel that.
You have to get more connected with that intuition. You know what I mean? Like, then there's some leading astray that's happening that's not totally rooted in the intuition, which is why I think that too.
Just feels like I'm 24 years old again, tripping acid for the first time, and the little voice tells me to take a leap of faith, and then I fall off the counter and almost break my neck. Like, it feels like my intuition is just out to be a little prankster on me, and it just thinks at me failing is hilarious. So it's like I can't trust myself anymore because like the pilot of my video game character is like someone playing GTA that just runs them into traffic for fun. Like,
but that's you making your choices.
Isn't that fun?
So
that's so cool.
You're like a sim that someone just let go, like free play, like just let them do whatever, and then they set the kitchen on fire.
Literally. And then they're like, haha, this is funny. Let's do everything we can so that the sim burns their own house down because we want the content for TikTok. Like, I don't know. I told you I'm very cynical and existential right now, so I've about McFreakin had it with shadow work and intention and appreciation and manifestation, and because it all feels like I'm still suffering, so why do I bother?
I mean, I feel like sitting and like intentionally sitting with that, and just sitting like with the frustration, with like feeling like you are not like actually making progress, and like you're struggling, and also like not feeling like the desire to do that. I feel like sitting with that might be what you need instead of fighting against it. Just sit with it for like a bit. Like I'm not saying sit with it.
That's what somebody
months,
told me the other day. I was talking about like
seconds.
how depressed I am or how like whatever, and they're like, well, maybe it's just time for you to be depressed or something. And I was like, well, that fucking sucks. Like, I don't know, it sucks. Like, what do you want me to say?
I'm not saying that. I'm like sit
it feels
with
like
don't
the same.
try to fight it.
It feels like the same sentiment though, where it's like just be like, what if the phrase they used was, what if you tried to lean into it, and like, and it's like, where's that going to get me? Like, I don't know. Like I don't know. Like there's no solving what I'm talking about right now. This is truly like Gemini masking coming out and making jokes about it, but I'm straight up not having a good time. So.
That was me last month. I kept just posting that picture. I'm like, I'm just Mars retrograde. I'm just straight up not having a good time.
Literally, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for your very insightful tarot reading, Panthera. I really loved that. That was a lot of fun. Highly recommend everyone in chat to try it. You'll have a good time.
Like reflective, because this is a time of like rest, reflection, and preparation and transformation, right? And so it's kind of, you kind of get to choose which area. This is a whole time of choices, as Dukesy mentioned earlier. Do you want to use this time to rest and reflect? Do you want to use it to actively take care of yourself and heal? Or do you want to use it to catalyze future change? Like what do you need the most right now? And how are you going to do that?
That's the freedom of Gemini, I think, is being able to fit all these different types of shoes and being able to adapt as needed. This is a good time to make some choices, some radical choices, some choices that matter, and some choices that get you off your butt and go somewhere cool. Do something fun. Do something physically rewarding.
See, the first thing I thought, I was like, oh, maybe I should go ice skating. And then it's like, no, you're going to break your other arm. Like...
See, there's that fear.
How do you fall and break your arm and not carry fear with you from it?
Of course. Yeah.
Like,
it's valid fear.
Now you also know what you did wrong the first time, and you know how you can do better the next time, right? You know, don't go alone. Don't take off your armrests. Put them on. Put the wristbands on correctly. You know, don't take them off and do another lap. Bring somebody with you, so you have someone there just in case, right? So you've learned from what happened.
I know of a place I can never be harmed. A magical place with magical charm. Indoors.
Okay, so off of that, I do have shadow work prompts, and I'm just gonna go off of one.
Oh, okay.
One of my shadow work prompts for this is: what are some ways to connect with nature even when you aren't able to get outside?
Take it away, Penny.
Take it away, Penny. What are some ways you can connect with nature even if you can't get outside? I don't know. Maybe you could put on like a YouTube video that's like a snowfall thing. Like
plants?
I would bring the outdoors in. I would do a house plant, spend some time with your pets.
I was going to say, one of the things about winter solstice is bringing the tree in.
Our little Christmas tree.
Which I'll talk about. That's like actually one of the traditions is that you bring the outside in because it's fucking cold outside.
Are we ready to go into the Yule conversation with Fuchsia?
Do you have more shadow prompts?
Well, I do, but we've actually, because this is the 1 year anniversary, they were discussed last year. So if you are new to the podcast, they're on the blog. But yeah, I think this is a good segue for us to talk about Yule. But they're available there on fairwoodfarm.com/cold-moon if you're interested.
Yeah, we didn't even say that at the start of the episode, but this is technically our 1 year anniversary. We started releasing this in podcast form in June, but we started creating and filming and streaming Celestial Cafe 1 year ago with this moon, the full cold moon. So, hooray!
Happy anniversary!
We did it.
Okay, I'm gonna pop us over to Fuchsia's screen for our Yule conversation.
Okay, so Yule is the winter solstice. It's the summer solstice in the southern hemisphere. It happens on December 21st this year. Sometimes it's on the 20th, sometimes it's on the 21st. It's on the 21st this year. It happens exactly at 3:45 p.m. Eastern. It is at 8:45 GMT. For me, it's 2:45 in Central Time Zone and 12:45 in Pacific Time Zone. So it is, the solstice is when the day and night are exactly the same length. So right now the days are getting shorter. I'm sure you've all noticed it's getting darker earlier. It's getting lighter later in the day. We don't have a whole lot of sunlight, and it's the time for SAD, as in seasonal affective disorder. Once the solstice hits, the day starts to get longer. We welcome back the sun, and that's what the winter solstice and Yule is all about. It's technically the first day of winter. It's the shortest day of the year. And also then afterwards, the 22nd is celebrated as the return of the sun and return of light. It's winter solstice is a really old holiday. It predates most holidays and traditions. A lot of the celebrations that we have now for Yule and Christmas are dated back to the 3rd and 4th centuries. There were holidays before that, but this is like one that we still carry those traditions forward.
Yeah, pretty much every civilization in the world had solstice celebrations.
Yeah.
Why?
Just because like it's one of those
scary
things they had both winter and summer solstice, and it was like winter solstice was the dead of winter, and
I guess just this checkpoint.
Because besides,
before they
moons, right?
Like imagine
to tell time, but otherwise beyond that, the solstices are the main like points of the seasons.
This is where a lot of this like celebration comes from. It's just like an old school superstitious fear where it's like, oh my god, are you noticing we're getting less and less sunlight? What if the sun goes away forever and it never comes back? And then that's where this Easter Ostara celebration comes in of like, the sun is risen, the sun is back. We've got there's more daylight coming. We're not going to die. We're not going to be stuck in a perma night for the rest of, that's why I think that the solstices and stuff would have originally come around. I think this stuff is I love this.
Yeah, and it's just like, it's one of those where a lot of people, even way back in ancient times, noticed that the day and night were equal. So it was one of those things that they could measure the passing of time with. So there were a lot of celebrations of the solstices all over the world, from like even China has their own celebration. Like all these places that didn't have any contact with each other still had these solstice recognitions. Fun fact about the pagan origins of solstice, when the Puritans came over to America, they did not let people celebrate Christmas because it was too pagan in the traditions. So they saw we know this is not a Christmas tree, this is a Yule tree, and they wouldn't let
the Yule log.
It was not allowed to celebrate Christmas.
A lot of our Christmas carols still have the pagan language in it. Yeah.
Yep. So solstice, the whole the etymology of the word sol is for sun. The cis part is sister, which means to stand still, and it's the point where the sun appears to have no change in latitude across the entire solstice, and it's at the latitude of Capricorn, and it is the start of Capricorn season, my season. I'm so excited. So it's a time to pause before moving forward. The sun is stopped. The day and night are equal, and it's time for balance, pause, reflection, and then moving forward and welcoming the light back into our lives.
And presents. In Santa.
And presents. Yes. So one of the traditions we all know is that we have the Christmas tree or Yule tree. And it's specifically an evergreen tree because in winter, that's the only tree that is alive. It's the only tree that still has its greenery on it.
A coniferous tree, if you will.
Yeah. You might say it's evergreen. So people would look at this tree that was people would look at this tree that was still alive in the winter and look to it for hope, for life, for longevity and perseverance throughout the cold winter. They saw it as a symbol of survival, even getting through the hard times. So they would bring them in to their houses, or they would decorate them outside. And so they would decorate them with lights to bring the warmth in, and also to give homes to the spirits of the trees. So that they have little fairy houses, if you will.
Nice.
And then one of the other traditions was the Yule log that I'm sure a lot of us are familiar with. They would find the biggest tree and bring it in to burn throughout the shortest day. They would burn it through the shortest day, through the longest night, and into the dawn of the next day and the return of the sun. So it's to celebrate the rebirth of the sun and the protection from evil spirits, and to welcome back the light and the sun. So now we don't bring in the whole tree to burn anymore, but they would bring in the tree and just burn it slowly throughout the night, throughout the day, and then night, and then the next day. But we don't set our Christmas trees on fire. At least most of us don't. But we still have the tradition of
not usually on purpose.
Not on purpose.
Be the change you want to see in the world. Burn your Christmas tree.
I burn it after Christmas, usually. After the ornaments are removed. But it's a good bonfire.
The night is longer rather than the day and night are equal.
It's the equinoxes where the day and night are equal, and the solstice is the summer solstice is the longest summer day, or the longest daylight, and the winter solstice is the longest night.
It's the longest day. I said that, and then I just messed that up. I am going on 2.5 hours of sleep. Okay,
we're all doing our best.
We're doing our best, but I did say it's the shortest day of the year and the longest night. I said that at the beginning. Okay. But yeah, you're right. We'll just edit that part out for the podcast.
I don't know about that. That's a lot of editing for me.
So after the shortest day of the year and the longest night of the year, the days progressively get longer. So we're welcoming the light back in and bringing back the warmth. So that's the celebration of winter solstice. So that's
the
all
Yuletide cheer. We love it.
Yeah. Cool. So and it's time for gathering with your family. Like everyone was inside because it was cold and dangerous outside. So everyone was inside, and that was when there was like a lot of camaraderie and celebration.
Human hibernation, essentially.
So, yeah,
Right.
pretty much.
And a lot of prayer that you don't murder each other. Just me? Okay.
So we're gonna end it on that note. But so as you can see, like we still carry a lot of those traditions to this day.
Yeah.
So we're all pretty familiar with Yule. Even if you don't.
This is the thing about like most pagan practices is like, and most of our modern, at least American holidays, is a lot of them are rooted in pagan practice, and people just, I think that people know it. They just pretend it's not. They just pretend they don't know it.
Yeah.
It's definitely true for a lot of things, but I was listening to another podcast the other day, and there was a lot that intentionally, and this goes into kind of like, specifically Christian colonialization, but they purposefully tried to make it difficult for you to know where other things came from, right? Like, purposefully made it difficult to know that these came from anything other than Christianity. So the cards are kind of against you when it comes to digging up.
Which is why
things.
The Puritans banned it. So, yeah.
But yeah, pretty much every, like, Christmas tradition that we have comes from some sort of various different pagan festivals and religions. Like Saturnalia was a huge influence. That's where like caroling, as we know it, comes from.
And eating your kids.
Delicious.
Sure. Yeah.
Yum yum yum.
One of my favorite.
Christmas
one of my
trees
favorite
were also
holidays,
part
yeah.
from Saturnalia. So the Roman priests would bring in pine trees and decorate the temples during that time. So there's all mistletoe comes from Norse mythology and Celtic. There's all kinds of different.
I mean, the fact that Santa's a fae is
how else could he travel the world?
Yeah, he's a magical motherfucker for real.
Yeah. One of the most.
The fun thing is that I know about Puritans banning Christmas from fun family tidbit. My family did come over on the Mayflower, and they got arrested for celebrating Christmas and also not going to church. So my family
some things never change.
Rebel rousers.
Not a rabble rouser.
We've been rebel rousers throughout history.
You guys are chuckleheads.
Like even back to like the 11th century, we can trace our family back.
Maybe it might be kind of fun if 2 weeks from now we dig into the specifics of Christmas symbolism and the roots, and like someone in chat is like Santa is a fae. Maybe we could dig into that a little bit more. Maybe we could do a whole like Christmas/Yule special.
That would be a holiday special. Would be really fun.
A holiday special would be kind of fun. Yeah.
I was actually going to bring that up with you guys.
We could also probably
join the Patreon to vote if you want to hear that one, or if you want, or you're more interested in maybe what we discussed earlier about dealing with burnout.
That's true.
In your practice, or I was thinking we could do like a part of like dealing with the holidays, or how to use your craft to help you through the holidays.
So just like a holiday special, that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll see. But if you want some input on what the next episode is, patreon.com/Celestial Cafe TV. Be our second patron.
Okay, so we are pushing the 2-hour mark now. So I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. But thank you, as always, to the hosts for your wonderful insight and dealing with my existential nihilism. Thank you everyone so much for listening and for the support on the podcast. If y'all are listening on the podcasting platforms, we do record this live on Thursdays at 7 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/HeyShadyLady. You can find all of the information on our podcast, including the social media that you can follow us on at celestialcafe.org, as well as show notes for each episode and previous episodes. And If y'all want to drop us a rating on the podcasting apps, that would mean the world to us. Or you can come support us out on the Patreon, join our Discord server, whatever y'all want to do. Or if you just want to hang out and listen on the podcasting platforms, look, that's awesome too. Y'all are living great lives and we appreciate you. We are going to be back with our next episode in 2 weeks, December 15th. There's a couple of different topics going on, so we'll have that nailed down closer to the date of what it's going to be. So we'll see y'all in a couple of weeks for a new episode. And I believe with the new year rolling out is when we're going to start pushing the weekly episodes. So wish us luck and hope we're in a good enough routine that we can handle that editing and upload process. But yeah, and we're going to try to pump some shorts and some clips out on these like short form video platforms like YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels and all of that stuff. So if y'all want to toss us support on those, that would also be awesome. We really appreciate everything y'all have done. It's been a year of creating this podcast, 6 months of putting it on podcasting platforms. So
has it been 6 months of that? Wow.
We started in June of this year.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah, we started putting it on podcasting platforms since around June of this year. So we're on our 6-month podcasting anniversary and we're on our 1-year streaming anniversary of Celestial Cafe. Very exciting. I'm very proud of us. I love Celestial Cafe so much. And I suppose that's it. So everyone have a wonderful start to December and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Bye everybody.
Bye.